Welcome to some Megatational action. We have some inverted Crosskeys going on between Gammachuu and Specks. My name is Tracy, and with me today is Rosalindis. How you doing, Roz?
Hello, world. Hi, Tracy. Looking forward to what I think is going to be a really exciting match for a really exciting mode. A lot of people don't care for inverted, but I'm one of those weirdos who does like it because it kind of throws a curveball in the routing decisions that players have to make.
I'm not a huge fan of inverted with the normal situation, but I kind of love inverted Crosskeys. People don't they think it's they think of it in terms of regular inverted, but really it's just more it's Crosskeys with a different map. I find the early game is dangerous, but not terrible. We do get a nice hook shot, and one of the things you'll see immediately, we saw both runners start out in Link's house, but Link's house is shuffled. And today it's on the mountain. And interesting, we have different choices. Gamma wanting to check these mountain locations, Specks wanting to move on. And of course, the other difference is our Sanctuary is guaranteed to start on West Dark World somewhere. So we get one of the nastier starts over there at the top of Bumper Ledge, which means you're going to see a lot of having to avoid the Murderdactyl as you jump off, which isn't too bad. You got to just go ahead and hold that left on your button, and and a hookshot cave with early hookshot, gotta love it. A shovel we can't use for a while. Nice
Yeah.
tree pull.
Specs got lucky and found the hookshot cave pretty early on.
Yep, it's right here.
Finding some bombs pretty early on in addition, which lets you check the other side of Hookshot Cave. Because one of the things that makes Crosskeys or entrance shuffle in general really complicated is knowing when to start diving connectors.
Did you see where that spit out?
I was actually keeping an eye on Gamma. I did not.
That was at Light World Bumper Ledge, or the where the Descent Cave spits out.
Oh, right. Okay. So
That's pretty funny.
Well, it's fortunate that they will never need to actually go through that.
That's actually not bad Light World access. Not that we can do a whole lot, although one of the quirks about inverted is that a lot of times the Moon Pearl has a tendency to show up earlier. And if the Moon Pearl doesn't show up earlier, there's a really good chance you're going to find a mirror early. My experience playing this mode is that you get one of those two items early almost all the time. I can only think of one instance where both were late.
I think the latest I've gotten a Moon Pearl in the inverted setting was at about the 90 to 100 minute mark. And it basically opened up the second half of the game. It was just a matter of going back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, you do still have the issue that all inverted modes have, which is that when the light world opens up, everything opens up. So it's a bit of an overwhelming decision of what to do. But yeah, and then this check right here, the Gamma's on, looks like he's gonna come back for it. See if this is the Bad Woods. It is the Bad Woods. This is probably the most difficult early check that you could be forced to do, and this is very much in logic. He's doing a very nice job of it to get those mummies stuck. Just hope that the other one is not camped there. It is not. It's just a small key to Ganon's tower, so I'm probably not going to need that for a while.
Specs making a break for Village of Outcasts before winding up in Skullwoods. Are you more akin to kind of make the break for Skullwoods first, or do you like doing the rest of the overworld before you start diving dungeons?
I don't like to do Skullwoods early because there's the big chest and the fire rod spot entrance, and I want even in whether it be regular Crosskeys or inverted Crosskeys, I like to have at least one of those items before I do it. Plus, there's that middle section that you might find a Canis Amaria, you might find a fire rod, you might find literally anything to deal with those Gyvnos to make it a little bit easier, because you're going to be in there with very few hearts when you do it this early.
Very true. On the other side of the coin, Skullwoods has reliable bombs that you can always find in those first 2 pots at the big chest drop down.
If you can find the big chest drop down, which Gamma did, I saw.
He did. The only caveat is that it is a 1 in 4 chance of finding the right drop down. And it's never comfortable. Like, you drop down into pinball room. Oh no, I'm stuck.
Yep. A lot of things dropping by. Like, the other difficult thing, and this is just inverted in general, this is not unique to the Crosskeys version, is that bombs are often hard to come by, and there's some bomb places you want to go to. Also, rupees. And there's that Murderdactyl getting Gamma.
And there's that Gibdo getting Specks. This is one of the reasons why Inverted doesn't get a lot of popularity, because it demands a level of skill into coping with Dark World enemies, because you start with 3 hearts.
Yep.
But the enemies hit that hard.
Yeah, and the trouble that Specks is having with this check is exactly why I try to put it off for a while. It's definitely doable. I have done it on 3 hearts, but like, you could just do it so much faster if you have a weapon for the Gibdos or you have that Can of Samaria. Yeah, looks like he's got those Gibdos in a good position now.
There we go. Now let's see if
just need to make sure he gets good RNG
sure
here. Yep. Yeah, because that Gibdo that's in the next room sometimes will just camp there and ruin your day.
And because you can't use items in doorways and you can use your sword without a sword, you got nothing to do other than tank the damage.
Which is great if you have 3 hearts, but if you have less than 3 hearts, that's not going to work out so well. Unfortunately for both runners, they did find that is probably the best drop down to get, I think. Like, the one that takes you to the kind of the southwest side. Also not bad, but I kind of like that one better.
It's just quicker to get into when you walk out of the dungeon.
Yep. And if you do have the big key, you can do it the vanilla way. Spec's not going all the way and grabbing the extra key. I would grab that. That key's always a Skullwoods key. I guess he must have picked up one according to our tracker before that, so should be fine. But even if you, unless you already have 2 keys, I like to grab that one and not have to worry about killing the Gibdos on the way to the back of Skullwoods. And if I don't have one already, then you need that to be able to even go back there. So.
Now, thing to keep in mind is that Moth is always 3 key locked, logically speaking.
Which means a little bit different in the inverted mode. In regular Crosskeys, that means that Moth is always behind Moon Pearl. Not the case here, because we can find all 3 small keys, and if back of Skullwoods just happens to be in the Dark World, we can do it, once we have a fire rod.
And Bell Runner's choosing to skip out on Misery Mire, even though there are... actually, no, never mind. They can't do anything in Mire 2 as they are currently.
They have no weapons to kill the Wizrobes. Bombs do not kill Wizrobes. Which I always find really funny, because in Zelda 1, bombs are like the weapon of choice for Wizrobes. So why they changed that in this game, I don't know. In the meantime,
they also got rid of Armos Knights in, well, not Armos Knights specifically, but it was Dark Nuts in this game.
That's a lot of digs.
Well, this game is really holding. There we go.
Blue cane is nice.
So I actually learned recently that the blue cane does not put Mire 2 in logic.
Yeah, I ran into that question maybe a month ago or so. And no one was quite sure.
They weren't sure, but somebody actually, I think, looked into the code itself to verify that. I think you and I were in the same conversation.
Yeah, because it was one of those things where it's like, I just put it off, and then eventually had something better for it. But I was like, there was something good in Mire that if I could have gotten it, I don't even remember what, but there was something in there that I would have liked to have gotten that I found much later.
I did find out while Mire 2 is not in logic with Cane of Burna, Blind, however, is.
Yeah, but blind is, well, I mean, if you have half magic with Burna, it's a free fight. Without
It
half
is,
magic, you
but
have
if
to
you
turn it
have
on and
no
off.
bottles and a single bar of magic.
Yeah, you have to be very skilled in turning it on and off. It's better than it being in Logic with Kena Samaria. The very first randomizer seed I ever played, just a regular 7-7 open, was a hard required, well, logically required. There may have been some fake flipper shenanigans that I could have done. It was a logically required Kena Samaria blind fight, so I learned very quickly. That was the thing. Oh, hi, Spike Cave. We're not doing you right now.
Certainly do not want to.
And we could with that cane, if we had a hammer and a glove. And the rest of the Dark World is just avoid the enemies. Red's at Ice and Mire.
I don't mind if Red's at the Ice Palace, but Mire does fill me with a bit of dread anytime it's a good crystal, because it means that the good crystal location is locked hard behind a big key.
Mm-hmm.
And you never want anything locked behind big keys.
Now, there's only 2 dungeons that logically don't require big keys, and then 2 other dungeons that you can skip the big key, Ice Palace being one of them. Hera being the other, although Hera has the caveat of you gotta have a hook shot to be able to skip it, which we do have already.
And then you have those dungeons where the big key is, logically speaking, not even necessary. Looking at Swamp, Skull Woods.
Yeah, Swamp is the worst in that sense, because the Skull Woods section, where the big chest is really just overworld.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what have we not done that isn't bunny walking? Because it may
Well,
very well be that what we need to do is go through Hookshot Cave to the light world and start doing some bunny walking. And there's another death to the murder dactyl.
giving Gamma the business here.
Ah, yes, Chame Chomps. I'd probably start bunny walking, honestly. This is such an awful check.
It is.
I would, and you can skip. Like normally, what you want to do is you want to do the 4-key locked lava chest. I would just skip that on 4 hearts. Yeah, and Specks is doing exactly that.
I would try to find a way to reach the Hoagie room with full magic, and then flip the switch with the hook shot and use the Cane of Burna to pin the Pokey against the wall and just try to run out as many hits as possible.
That's reasonable. We'll see. Let's see what Gamma chooses to do.
Ooh, there you go.
Fire rod. Okay, so we're getting breadcrumby here. We do have that does open an entrance. It looks like Gamma's gonna go for this small key. If I actually had a small key, I would just use it.
Absolutely. You got plenty of chances to find small keys for Turtle Rock. It's just a really uncomfortable situation to be sweating for a small key for Turtle Rock.
Yep. There's 4 of them, and if all the entrances are available, then you really only need 1 card required. Logically, a lot of things are, well, the lava chest, and of course Trinex himself. Nicely done by Gamma there. I didn't even see what he got.
He got a piece of heart.
Okay,
so
well,
won't ever have to worry about that.
Yeah, and that's the main thing, is not having to worry about that.
Worry about bunny walking in an entrance shuffle setting is knowing when and how long you want to, because the more you bunny walk without any real payoff to it,
Yep.
the more you end up having to do twice.
Yep.
Lots of folks like to wait until they at least have the mirror before they start bunny
Gamma's
walking.
Gamma's gonna go ahead and do Mire, and actually that fire rod gives him 2 extra checks. Not logically, because those are still behind the normal 3 keys. Wait, he can use the fire rod to kill the Wizrobes here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is in logic.
Likewise, Specks went ahead and found the right side of Hyrule Castle in the back of Skull Woods.
With exactly one item in logic, this one right here. So
Bummer.
that's not the answer. He is going to keep going. This is a bit of a risk because these two chests need the Hyrule Castle small key, and you might need to use this to get to the back, depending on where the actual sanctuary is. But I would probably do the same as he's doing right here and take that risk. One of the things that's kind of unique, one of the really nice things that inverted does for us that we don't get in the regular mode is we actually can see what's behind Gammachuu. We can actually peek that, which is really nice. On the other hand, one of the worst thing about inverted is East Death Mountain is just absolutely the worst thing ever. If you think it's bad in regular inverted, in inverted Crosskeys, it's so much worse.
I think there was an inverted 80 keys that was one of the worst situations I could have been in, where I needed to bunny walk the smith home so he could give me the book, where I could then bunny walk to Bombo's tablet or a mirror to take to Light World Death Mountain so I could bunny walk up it to mirror into the bottom of TR for my pearl.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad. And it looks like, yeah, there was nothing in the... Okay, we're going to go ahead and sequence break Dark Cross, which with the Fire Rod is not too bad. Fire Rod plus Hookshot. It may very well be that Fire Rod is specifically to go through the connector and maybe get us to the eastern part of the Dark World.
And Ganama's chosen to sequence break the left side of Meyer, even though
you're here,
he's
you
3 keys short.
Yeah, you want to do... I think you do this now.
If you have a fire source, I don't see any real reason to put it off because you're already here.
Yep.
But so far, the only thing that of possible help has been ether in Meyer.
Yeah, that doesn't really do much for us. That would have been a great thing to have before we had to deal with those Gibdos. Ether insta-kills them.
If he had a sword, yes.
If he had a sword, yeah, that's a good point. We don't have those yet. We don't have one of those yet.
Well, so far, so nothing on Gamma's side.
Okay, got Kakariko. You got money. I would have at least peeked out. Yeah, at least do Bottle Vendor.
Mm-hmm.
That's in logic. And then you get a Super Bunny state from Bottle Vendor, which you can use for a variety of things. I personally like to use it for the back of Tavern. Specks is just going to go back through. I would have used it. The other thing I occasionally do is if I know that the drop down in the woods is something I want, I might use it for that. Okay, so all that stuff that Specks did in Hyrule Castle, all in logic with that Hyrule Castle small key. That's really interesting. If a lamp shows up, I think that will get really spicy, because maybe you are supposed to go to the back of the castle to use it. And Gamma, it wouldn't surprise me if he just does it anyway, since he's got the small key and he's got a fire rod. But yeah, if it's not the back of the escape, all signs are pointing to bunny walking.
So unfortunately, in Entrance Shuffle, the fire rod does not put torch rooms into logic. So Dark Cross and Beyond are actually not in play as of yet.
Yeah, right, but I think you do it anyway, because it could be that you're bunny walking for a lamp.
True enough. If you're going to start rushing the Hyrule Castle checks, you're going to do as much as you can all at once.
Yep.
But Specks choosing not to waste too much time in wandering around and is going to start bunny walking to check the world, because if you find something like Hammerpeg's Cave that has your pearl, that's just in play.
Could also be a connector back to something in the Dark World. Again, take them to somewhere in the eastern part of the map, or possibly Dark Death Mountain. You can't do this. He'll
Nope,
take your
not
money.
without... He will take your money, though.
He will take your money, but you cannot open the chests. I think everyone has found that out the hard way at some point. So, like, this is an item that's completely illogic.
Mm-hmm.
And we just saw the other end of it, so he doesn't have to.
This is our week 2 of our Link to the Past Ladder 2023 Megatational Tournament. Our top 16 runners have entered into a 4 group 4-way combat, and this is week 2 match between Gammachuu and Specks.
So we have 1/3 of the Misery Mire combination to that left side.
Now that is actually a big change for inverted specifically. Left side mace race becomes connector locked.
Yep. It's a guaranteed connector. But yeah, the question is, there's 3 things that will progress us at the moment. A Moon Pearl is the obvious one. The lamp would put the back of escape into logic, which looks like Gamma's not going to do it. And the mirror will give us a ton of things. The mirror is really powerful in this mode.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll open up a ton of the dark world that you can't get to without other things. But Gamma also went and did the bottle vendor also, unfortunately, also did not take advantage of the Super Bunny state you get to do one other thing.
And we get a pristinely folded piece of paper sitting on Hylia Island. Oh, there we go.
Stay. Okay, let's see. Where did Specks?
I believe that is.
Okay, yeah, we can't do that right now.
Nope.
Hammer and Pearl for that one. Oh, okay. Gamma's gonna go do this back. He's gonna need to take a death though to get himself into a link state, and this is good because if you're gonna go all the way to the back, having the ability, having the extra hearts. Now, if he wants to death warp out of this, that's gonna be pretty bad. Actually, you won't be able to death warp. I think you just save him quick because you're gonna want to take this all the way to the sanctuary and get that chest too, and then there's just nothing that'll kill you. So you're just not gonna death warp this. So having the enemies not hit you as bad, I think, is better.
It's a very nice start for the old man spawning, being right there in CAC, because it's an easy really good starting location in the light world. But it would have been better if Gamma had chosen to do the back of Hyrule Castle when he had entered from the dark world, because bats, mice...
No, I disagree.
All of those. Huh?
Yeah, I think he wanted to do it from the light world.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be taking the bad hits, and you're not death warping anyway, because you want to go all the way to the sanctuary, and there's nothing to kill you there. So if your plan was to death warp, then yeah, you want the 2 heart mites. So for not even using the fire rod, he knows his dark rooms well. Here's a connector for Specks. Let's see if this takes us anywhere interesting.
Not as interesting as it could be.
No, like we can get here already. This is not interesting at all, unfortunately. Now, desert might, yeah, the middle entrance is not in logic. Oh, was that the Moon Pearl? I think it was.
He did pick up the Moon Pearl.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Lana Bean who jumped in, and we only need a tracker for Specks, but The fact that we don't have to do it is great. Yeah, Lana, the MVP tonight. So
So here's
yeah,
the question.
the lamp is somewhere.
Yeah.
That's really good for Gamma and really bad for Specks. The key to Ice Palace. A
Oh
mushroom.
my god.
So the mushroom doesn't do much for us. You can turn in the mushroom if you can get to the spot, but you can only get to the spot if there's a connector there. In fact, I played a seed the other day where the mushroom, you had to find a connector to turn the mushroom in and then mirror in a bad spot to get to the potion shop for your moon pearl. So. But yes, yeah. So Gamma having gotten the Hyrule Castle small key out of Misery Mire, that was huge. Specs is gonna be clearing all this probably before he goes back to Mire to get that small key. Cannot steal the keys. Already done has already gone down to Zelda Cell. I did like Gamma's choice to do Mire a little bit better, just because it's I mean it's 4 items in logic and 2 out of logic once you had that fire rod.
Not to mention, it's one of those situations of like, you're already right there and there isn't much else to do.
Right.
So you might as well just spend a couple of minutes trying to pull out anything that you're going to need. Because in any key sanity setting, you're going to start double dipping dungeons.
Yep.
It's an inevitability.
Yep. And Mire is actually one of the less painful dungeons to double dip, I find.
Ooh, there's a find
well, this might be doable.
Spec's side.
If this spits out in the Dark World, he can do this.
Very interesting.
Yep.
A hair small in the back of desert.
Go back in. No, go back. So that's in logic for Specs, because if you can, the game, and this is true in any cross key situation, if you can re-enter as not a bunny, the game can require you to go back in and get the items.
And that is mighty unfortunate on Gamma's side of walking out the center of desert only to get spit out at bong rocks and locked outside.
Yeah, I hate when the game does that to me. We're gonna see some laser skips from Specs here. There, oh my god, there. So okay, this logic is pretty fascinating. So you have the Kana Burner, so this is in logic.
Mm-hmm.
So you're supposed to get that Kana Burner. You're supposed to then bunny walk all the way over to Speck Rock Cave, which takes you back to the east part of the Dark World to get your lamp on Laser Bridge here with that blue cane, to go back and take the Hyrule Castle Small that you should have gotten in Misery Mire to go through the escape to get your Moon Pearl. That's pretty epic. Gammachuu will eventually find his way to Laser Bridge, and he'll see that logic. He'll put it back together. In the meantime, we do get a Kana Samaria for Specs. That's kind of nice.
I think Specs is trying to check the surrounding area before he invests in the bottom of Spectacle Paradox Cave, because of the fact that it is very difficult to get over here. Not necessarily difficult, but it's just very tedious to get over here.
Yeah, but he can just bomb jump to get back here once he checks it. Yeah, I wouldn't go down. Yeah, you're definitely not checking the bottom connector. But we are going to go through here. This is in logic for Specs. He's got
and
that.
There is Gamma's first sword out of Mini Moldworm Cave.
Nice, because he does have a lamp to put this in logic. And it's the easiest dark room in the world, because you just hold up. course, it's not dark, but, you know, if it were. Ooh, well, that's a nice find. Some boots.
Definitely gonna speed things up when going back through Hyrule Castle.
Yep, is gonna make it a little more painful to walk around in the light world. Don't die.
He's gonna want to be careful here because
No sword.
these
Boots
are
with no sword.
pretty heavy-hitting creatures.
Oh god, when are we going back into Speck Rock Cave?
I believe
There
he
is
is
an item
heading
here.
up to the pyramid.
Yeah, there is a freestanding item on the pyramid that makes sense to go get, but this is so dangerous. Oh, we could have gotten a flute from back at Tavern for free with the Super Bunny from the bottle vendor. Apparently, we saw the library over on Gamma's side, and is that a Flippers we saw? Because I see Filet from Lana. And we're still not going back.
I see what's going on. Specks does not want to orphan the. He does not want to orphan the COD entrance, so he's grinding for cash, I think.
Oh, that's so painful unless you have, do we have a stun? I guess the stun prize, he's probably checked that, and it probably isn't rupees. Or if it is, the single rupee doesn't help us much. Stun his heart, yeah, which is a great stun. I love having the heart as a stun prize, unless I need money or bombs. So we found a dark cave for Gamma.
I'm thinking that is the back of the old man spawn.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
I remember that I noticed that he used the hook shot straight up, and it extended a distance and then collided with a wall.
Okay. I tend to only care about the one that takes me to the mountain. And if I'm feeling like trying to go to the mountain, I will walk forward and see if I fall down without damage. And if I don't fall down without damage, then I know I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we just need to get one more of those red rupees.
This play feels it very much resembles struggling to do Skullwoods early on over and over when you could have so much else on your plate right now and just go.
Yeah, and the other thing is, with 7 checks in Paradox Cave, 2 red rupees would not be the strangest thing to find. And then just bomb jump back.
Mm-hmm.
He probably, I mean, I'm guessing he wants to go back in there and be able to finish by checking the connector. Because this will be the last thing he can do in this area.
Because now he has to walk out anyway.
Small key. We got this already. Was this the Meyer small key?
That is correct.
The Meyer small key. Yep.
And it is indeed a good find.
Oh, I mean, it's important, but God, we're hammerless. We're gloveless.
Keyless.
Yeah, keyless. So we can't take advantage of the Cane of Samaria unless we want to steal. We can. And in this situation, I would steal the conveyor key, and do an icebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that's slower than not. The only reason I would steal it is I want that extra check. I think it's slower than just not bomb jumping. And just bombs in the chess game, so Specks didn't miss anything out on that other than losing some money. Although ironically, that 30 rupees would have saved him a little bit of farming. Oh yeah, and Tam reminding us there's a tree in that area with a blue rupee, a bonk rupee. It's actually one I didn't know. The game with some arrows. We don't need those.
All right, let's see if Specks is going to opt for the key steal.
Yeah, would have to death warp here.
It does not look like.
Nah, it's just used it already. He's not gonna do the. There's no reason to do the bomb jump here. You're not getting both glove
No.
and and it's not. Yeah, you'd have to get glove and hammer, and then you'd have to do hammer and cold stare. Like, just no, thank you. But this is faster than doing the key steal. The key steal just gets you an extra check. There's the well
Technically,
for
it's
Gamma.
not it gets you the extra check. It lets you get out of the extra check.
Yes, that's true. You could just icebreaker for the item. So yeah, Gamma's gonna go do the well here. So a map to Misery Mire. Piece of heart. 20 rupees, a map, and a small key to GT. Okay, that was a very underwhelming well.
And just a single $20 bill out of iced tea. And it looks like Specs is going to opt for the last check he can get. Because he's here, he's going to make every check count.
All right, Gamma's about to show us one of the nicest things in inverted Crosskeys. We can... Well, it's not nice that we have to kill... We have to do...
Ganon is vanilla.
Gammachuu, but it's nice that we could check that.
Absolutely. It's definitely nice knowing that GT climb is not something that you have to think about. Like, do you have to do it? Should you do it?
Well, it's a little more complicated in inverted because you might end up choosing... There's two entrances. There's three entrances there. One of them doesn't count because it's the GT entrance, essentially. What would normally be the castle tower entrance. But the other two, there's no way to get there other than connectors or a climb up a tower. Castle tower is the logical way. You can do... Yeah, Specks never did Paradox Cave. You can do multiple... Speaking of Paradox Cave...
Well,
but yeah, we did discover once that you can climb GT multiple times to get back to the top of the castle. If you walk in the room, the duck will just pick you up and take you where you need to go. But logically, it's behind Castle Tower, so those two entrances can be really annoying. So ideally, whereas normally in Crosskeys, if you have a vanilla Ganon, you're fine to just do it whenever. In inverted, you kind of want to leave it to the end unless you found a connector that takes you there, or unless you've done Castle Tower to get you there for free.
Not indoors. That's unfortunate.
Oh, really? Doors doesn't do that, huh, Telefire? I didn't know that.
In
I've only
non-entrance
tested
shuffle,
inverted. I don't even know if it does it in regular Crosskeys, so I think
in
it does.
non-entrance shuffle, one of the nice... Oh, we're getting a green pendant pod, as usual.
The key to Thieves Town, which is nice. And Specks is going to find out what his logic is, and we'll be getting his moon pearl relatively soon.
One thing I was going to say was that one of the things about non-entrance inverted is with Ganon's Tower on top of Hyrule Castle and finishing GT spits you out, on top of Hyrule Castle, if there's anything in the in GT that you might need, the strat is to clear GT, as in kill Aga 2 first.
Yes.
If you don't find what you're looking for on the climb, just go back inside and finish it up.
Yep, yep. And unfortunately for Gamma, without a sword, he can't do... Oh, no, he has a sword. He can totally do this. This is... Yeah, this isn't... I mean, we're missing a small key. But whatever. We can do this anyway. They patched out the rebirding from Aga 2. Is that true in...
Quick warp.
Tells are saying they patched out the rebirding for Aga 2. Is that true in Inverted, too? And granted, I'm trying to think, it was like a year and a half ago when I tried that. When that worked for me, so... Oh, okay. He's saying just doors. Okay. Either way, it's not in logic, so... The one time it came up for me, it was in when the ladder was doing the inverted cross keys in a season. And I ended up doing I knew I had to get back there, because I'd already done the climb of GT. So I just did Castle Tower instead. Nice job with Moth there from Gamma.
Moth.
For a Quake, okay.
And that will be our first crystal reward.
Yeah, we did not know this was a crystal. Yeah, you don't have a key, Specks. You need a small key for that. Yeah, I get why he's trying that, but the Hyrule Castle small key plus the lamp should scream at him to go do the back of escape.
I think he's realizing it now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. And it looks like Gamma found the old man rescue.
Oh, well, maybe. There was a bit of a diagonal there that was kind of funny, but now it looks like the old man rescue. This will be nice because now he's going to have that start spot in Kakariko.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you ever been fooled by a dark room in here before where you think it's the old man rescue? I once thought I was doing the old man rescue and ended up in the back of old man. It doesn't usually happen.
I once thought I was in his rescue, only to find out it was bat descent. And it's quite unfortunate that ended up taking a death heading up to the back of escape. And you gotta be careful. These rats and snakes in Dark World are no joke.
Yep, we'll do 2 hearts of damage. They're the crickets in yeah, no big key to do back a desert here. I'm gonna steal the key? I think we're gonna steal the key.
Looks like he is, yeah. I think in this instance, in absence of knowing what the reward for desert is, you grab the key in case something is on the right side. Nothing ever is, but it's just in case.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you can get to the desert entrance at a situation where you can reset if there's nothing there and then get the key back, I think it's fine.
In our case, or this particular seed's case, left and right are in the desert, which is really far to get to in inverted.
Yeah. There's that Moon Pearl for Specks. No hammer for Mimic Cave for Gamma.
And Specks is gonna keep going.
Yeah, like I said, you do have this this extra check here that you want to do, which could have been the moon pearl. And the game could also make this could also be your light world axis. The one broken seed that they found in the season, the first, I don't remember, forget if it was the first season or when we had the entrance invitational, but the only access to the light world was through the escape, just like we just had there from Specks. Only there was one little problem with it, is that the game forgot to give them a lamp. So it wasn't in logic.
Whoops.
Okay, Gamma about to get his boots.
Yeah, he's about to get his lamp.
The boots
so he now sees his...
Right, you have to get the cane of Samaria and come back for the boots. That's
yeah.
He's in the right area for it. If he just stays in this area, he's gonna get them. He just has to decide to come back. Which, you know, for one chest is a little bit harder than for you know, when you're already there and you've gotten 4 of them. Also a little bit harder for him because he, you know, he has all these other things in this area.
He's gonna have the option / choice of following Paradox through, but the good news is that I think he has already seen Paradox lower, so he will never drop down that.
No, there's no reason to check it. He knows where it is. Let's see. Are we doing ice? We are not doing ice.
I think he realizes that he doesn't have anything to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, and the thing is, it made sense for Specks to go into ice when he did, because he was running out of things to do. Gamma has a lot of things to do. And has the flute to get back there easily. Alright, now we finally get to see what's in Spectacle Rock Cave. Small key to pod. Small key to ice. Oh gosh, that could have come in handy,
couldn't it, Specks?
Oh, that's a shame. There's Specks.
And Specks getting his first sword finally.
Yay! Yay, sword. And Bombo. So not a whole lot there. But some things that would have made Ice Palace better for Specks. Yeah. And a little bit of, and we did get a 20 rupee drop there from the mini Moldorms. We get 1 extra check in this area for Gamma. Okay, the Smiths. Okay, it's a terrible place for the Smiths. That is
especially an inverted.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in inverted, it's so much worse. And Gamma not going to go back to Turtle Rock right now, so it's going to be missing out on those boots for a little bit longer. For him, ideally, he wants to find Turtle Rock East to do that check.
I don't think this is actually that bad of a choice on Gamma's side, because he has the flute, remember? So he can get back to that area very easily.
Yeah, I mean, we know that the boots are there, so it's like, go get them, go get them. But, I mean, it's 1 check. I don't think I would go back for it either.
Oh, that is a toss-up of a connector to follow at this point.
It's 2 items. I'd probably do it, but yeah, I get not doing it as well. Maybe he comes back after he does some of these other checks in this area. Oh no! Oh yeah, he hasn't found the Samaria yet. Which cave was in?
It was in Hammerpeg's cave, which was at East Dark World Ferry.
Okay.
We're finding a Gina at the Hero Hype Cave location. Is he going to have anything special for us?
Yes.
Oh, that's important.
That's a biggie. That hammer is really nice. That's a really nice find. Now, we still can't do Ice Palace because we need gloves for that too. It's one of the gotchas for early Crosskeys players is the glove. I mean, we all know the gloves are required for Ice Palace. We just don't think about it because normally you need mitts just to get in. So when you're in Crosskeys, suddenly you don't need mitts to get into Ice Palace, and oh yeah, you do need a glove inside.
I think it's also a matter of you expect to have a lift upgrade by that point.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we're seeing that East Palace is a crystal, so Eastern Big is going to be a necessity if we want to end Ganon's life.
And Gamma also, you notice he went in and left and then decided to do it anyway. There was definitely a little bit of indecision there.
Which is one of those things about inverted that you have to kind of take into account of what is it you are willing to leave for later, because it is really difficult to get back there.
Yeah, and it's just generally a Crosskeys thing. There's always which locations are bad to get back to changes in inverted, but there's still that aspect of, okay, how bad a location. Like this location is an easy one to get back to normally in regular Crosskeys. It's kind of an awful one to get back to in this with this inverted setup because our start spots are, we have a mountain start spot in Kakariko, we have Link's house in the mountain, and then of course the guaranteed West Dark World connector or starting spot at Bumper Ledge. So yeah, I think this is fine to be doing this right now.
I agree, because it's 4 checks.
And they're all in logic because we have that lamp.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we suspect that the back of the Old Man Rescue is in Kakariko. We saw a dark cave that looked like it might have been it, but we don't have any confirmation of that. Alright, Specks gonna get the bad news that we have to do GT. He's gonna find the well here and want to go back around, which isn't quite as bad when you have boots. Small key to pod. Okay, so I think that was the highlight. That was the highlight of our trip through Eastern. Is that small key to pod? Which, I mean, it's a green pendant, but I would imagine there's a very good chance that both runners will end up doing 13 out of 14 checks in pod anyway.
And honestly, a big part of me feels like it's worth it because the key count you have when finding entering pod really does matter, not just in terms of logic, but of how much you're willing to push.
Yeah, I especially like it when pod is a pendant. I just use all my keys, and I make the game give me 6 keys for Helma, and I just don't worry about using the rest of them. Just because it is 13 items. Helma's kind of in its own little branch, separate from the rest of the dungeon. I think we're going back to. Are we going back to Super Bunny? Yeah, we're going back to Super Bunny. I like this. We have the hook shot, so we can do a little bit of clipping here. We don't see that second clip nearly as much anymore with quick swap, allowing us to get to mirror easily.
And Specks remembering that he has that paradox cave to go back for. Kind of hurts.
Yeah, if you have the mirror, you could just do it now. Unfortunately, can't do that. Nothing really interesting in Super Bunny, though. Let's see where it spits us out. Oh,
no real help there.
Yeah, we get one at entrance. Actually, we get more than one because we can get all the way to the east side in the Dark World here.
Which Gamma could have already gotten to with the flute.
Yep, that's true. So it doesn't give us anything new. It's a shame because if he had just fluted here, he could have done it from the back, which is what you want. But
yeah,
whatever.
Funnily enough, it was Ladder's Invrosia mode that taught me to get good at the bomb deboosts across Lionel Bridge here.
Oh, I just take a hit from the fireball and go through that way. You can do that even with 3 hearts because the fireball will do 2 hearts of damage. But it's
true.
Dangerous.
But I've had instances where shot from the back, it will still knock me to the left.
Yeah, you definitely have to be careful. And let's not talk to the guys up there. That's got it extra hard, so you can take a couple hits now. Could buy a heart.
The good news for Gamma is that he has plenty of protection.
Yep, you can just use the Cane of Burna. Unfortunately, still Specks. No glove. Yep, there's a hammer for Specks.
Finding that very much appreciated hammer at this point.
And we have all the medallions, or at least Gamma does, so he's going to be able to open this entrance. Won't be able to go to the Light World from here without a hammer and mitts.
And that is a trick for newcomers to Inverted specifically. You can jump the tail onto the back.
I like jumping the tail. I think that's fun. Specks decides not to run through Eastern, it looks like. Okay, we've already rescued the old man, so we don't care about that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Pod. We're going to see what the other cave is first, but I suspect he's going to go in and do a lot of Pod. Thieves Town. Okay. I would do Thieves Town first, do the 4 checks there, and then go back into Pod, but kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It's not a big difference.
In this instance, Gamma has the choice of if he is going to kill blind now, or is he going to wait until he has the small key?
Yeah, that's a good point. That might be a reason to do Pod first in hopes of getting the Thieves Town small.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we know we're not finishing Pod because we don't have a bow. And even if we did have a bow, we know it's a pendant, so we're not really invested in using our extra small keys to do something to kill Helma when there's other things we can do with that small key. I think we're going to see Mimic Clip here.
Every time, without exception. This is tradition.
Yeah, small key to Pod in Pod. We've never ever seen that before. That is kind of nice. It does get him a potential 1 extra check. He could choose to do Harmless Hallway, or he could choose to do the big key chest.
I was going to say, every time with that exception, if I do not have a bow, I don't care. I am going to loop in these 2 checks as soon as possible, because nothing feels worse than having logical access to Pod, finding a bow, and then having to make the decision of, do I go all the way back there?
And having a little trouble with this Mimic Clip.
And this is the caveat. If you are not versed in the fast clipping, this does eat up a good chunk of time.
Yeah, and I think, if you're not good at the Mimic Clip, leaving it's fine depending on where Pod is. This is kind of an awful spot to get back to, so you want to do as much of it as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, there's a chance you might be coming back for Thieves Town, but another small key to Turtle Rock, okay.
Oh
A
my
glove,
goodness,
that's
you are
huge.
kidding me.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Well, there's our first glove. It's behind a bow. It might be logically the mitts. Meanwhile, Specks has found back of Skullwoods. He's going to go ahead and complete that. We'll get his first crystal.
Which do you like to do when you only have one choice? Balcony chest or harmless hellway?
If I have the big key, I'll do harmless hellway. If I don't, I'll do the big key chest because that gives me 2 items in the back to come back for with the big key. It wouldn't surprise me if in this situation Gamma does do harmless hellway here, just because you're already here.
Yeah.
It's potentially a different calculation if you get the key while you're in the dungeon, and you don't really want to come back in.
I'm in the situation where it's our first bottle.
Hey, that would have been nice to do the mimic clip.
Yeah. I'm in the situation where in the event that I have to come back here, if there's anything left, you've got to be kidding.
2 small keys to pod and pod. So we're going to be able to clear everything but Helma, and that's really nice.
As I was saying.
Big chest.
If I have to leave something behind, I want something that is closer to the entrance. Fortunately, Gamma does not have to make such a horrible decision.
No longer has to make that choice. I love it. Okay, if you all are laughing at 2 small keys in pod, I literally had a scene with 4 small keys in pod, so this is
in a Crosskeys?
It was an inverted Crosskeys scene.
Oh, good lord.
Completely useless
What
map.
a helpful map. Now you know how Hyrule Castle is laid out.
Yay. Yeah, I'm setting up the death warp.
Spec's having a little trouble jumping off the mountain.
Yeah, I don't think you can jump down from there. I think you have to jump to the left.
Yeah. Either jump left or you walk around. And that was a cape that we saw? Very nice.
All right, now I suspect we're going to do Thieves Town. Again, having to make the decision, do you want to do this now? Do you want to put it off till later? This is, again, one of those situations where I think this isn't a bad enough spot that you just do it now and hope the big chest doesn't come back to bite you.
It's not the worst to get to once you have the boots, because hookshot speed will let you run the Dark Death Mountain pretty quickly.
The mirror is what you'd really want to get back here, because we have the Link's House starting spot on the mountain.
That's true.
Plus the mirror would get you right here. This is a really late mirror for inverted Crosskeys. Mirror likes to show up early because of all the things we can do in the regular part of the overworld.
Oh my goodness! There it is.
Where's? Oh, isn't in
a bow in Mimic Cave.
Yeah, Gamma has seen Mimic Cave, has not gone back to it.
It was before he had the hammer out of Agina.
Specks finds the back of desert, which he can't do anything with.
Gamma is going to take the gamble of killing Blind for hopefully his next crystal.
Yep. Again, I think I like this given the location. I mean, once we get the mirror, this will be easy to get back to, but we don't know when that's happening.
You never want to go back for Thieves Town Big, but if you can get away with it, it always feels good to make those big skips.
Oh, find out what this big key is. Eastern Palace. Okay, so that is a full clearable Eastern. And Specks didn't go in the first time, so he's going to be able to do this in one go.
And it looks like he is headed right there right now.
No, I like this. This is exactly what he should do.
Mm-hmm.
No glove, though. You have to go around the long way.
Yeah, but that glove is logically accessible to him at this point.
We'll see if Gamma remembers that he has access to Mimic Cave, or how long it takes him to remember that. Now, there is another bow out there. We don't know where. All right, we're about to get to the one location of Vanilla Thieves Town Small Key can show up in the back. It's not very often in any Key Sandy that you'll find it here, though.
Well, just a boomerang.
Yeah, and Lana, our tracker, pointing out that the bow by itself does nothing for Gamma. It needs that plus the Eastern Big Key.
But that hammer does do something for Gamma if he can make his way over to Village of Outcasts for a couple more entrances.
Yeah, I mean, and I hope for his sake he finds the bow first. Because that big chest looming by itself is really annoying. It's always worse when you go in without either the bow or the big key, because then you have the option of triple dipping this dungeon, which nobody wants to do. Okay, we did get a crystal, but we didn't get any good items here, so.
It's always a good feeling to pick up big keys and see that they are for crystal dungeons that you know you cannot get around. Like, I don't mind not ever seeing the big key for like Ice Palace if it's a crystal dungeon, because I don't need it. Same thing for Hera, Swamp, or Skull Woods.
Yeah,
but then when those dungeons are like required and you don't have the big keys, you just feel miserable the whole time.
Yeah, I'm more of the, if those big keys are going to show up, please show up before I get into them. Nice half magic at the dam here. There's nothing worse than finding those big keys after you've cleared them. There's one of those pod small keys for Specks.
And Lana also mentioning that Lumber Connector is useless, so Gamma won't have to worry about that cape at all, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a connect. Have we seen the other end? Let's see. He's gonna take it. I mean, it's your last check in this area, so I think it's good. You go ahead and take it, see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he scouted this or not. He must have scouted it because we're not doing it. And he's been there before.
We haven't seen the other side of that, though.
Yeah, we saw it early on, I thought.
The top of...
Oh, the top. Yeah, we haven't seen the top yet, but that's not logic. You know, you don't need to check that because it's not a logical connector. It can get you to useful places. Okay, Gamma's about to get his Eastern Big Key, which, you know, it will be unfortunate if he decides to follow it before getting the bow. Small key to GT for Specks. Where are we going? Going to the Dark Chapel. So...
Ah, I see.
We do get, the you know, and the hints always give you refills. So
at least in that
not
spot, yeah.
In the ones where you talk, I should say, with the ones where you talk to a guy that gives you a hint. So yeah, runner's tied at 2 crystals. Different crystals for each one, though. Gamma's kind of following that hammer a little bit, but he does have that one other spot to go to. See if he flutes to 1. No, flutes over to 5, which, you know, could mean Ice Palace. With half magic, this becomes a much better dungeon. It would be nice if he wouldn't picked up that Cane of Samaria first, though.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I'm certain he'll eventually run over there and grab it.
You know, he'll walk over there and grab it.
Point taken. Because he's going to need that if he wants to get the boots out at the bottom of TR.
Yeah, I mean, the Turtle Rock Big Key plus the eastern entrance would also get... Well, even just the Turtle Rock Big Key would get it for him, because we do have access to TR East. But the ideal way for him to get it would be Turtle Rock East plus Big Key.
Yes.
So we'll just have to do
Definitely
Ice Palace.
Smart
East.
play leaving the Ice Palace for later on Gamma's part.
Yep. Yeah, and again, for him, it made sense for him to leave it because he had a bunch of things that he could do, whereas when Specks got here, he hadn't found the Moon Pearl yet, so this was like one of his last locations. But we do get to see an Ice Palace bomb jump, and to chat, no, the cane will not be in the icebreaker chest because we've seen where the cane is. Gamma will not be finding the cane here.
The cane is at the East Ferry, which is right behind the line of trees to the south of the pod area.
Yep.
In Hammerpeg's cave. So it's right over there around the corner, and as it happens, Gamma's just not fortunate of leaving it behind.
All right, Specks finds pod. We'll see if he does. He'll probably do the same clear that Gamma did, except he won't have to do a mimic clip because he's got the bow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's where the cape was. Got it.
We do get some new checks here now. We have not seen either of these two right side checks. Again, we're remembering to pull the tongue. And so that's kind of a funny one, because I remember somebody asked me once, do you still pull the tongue now when Icebreaker became a thing? And it's like, no, not anymore. Now we forget to pull it when we need to. But early on, when Icebreaker first became a thing, everybody was still pulling that tongue because that's what we were used to doing.
I bet. Specks is wiping the sweat off his brow, seeing that second key.
Yeah,
or I should say the third key.
Yeah. We do have we did get a desert small key for Gamma there in the big key chest. So that opens two items in desert. So right now we're back to the locations we already saw. Oh, did Specks have the big key when he came in here? I don't think he did.
Into pod? No.
Into ice.
Oh, no, not at all.
So we get another check for Gamma here. Didn't like the way that bomb jump was set up. Is going to do it again. And money is just not an issue today.
And Specks is discovering the jokes this seed has when it comes to key placements. And if you're just coming in, get ready for an exciting match of Gamma versus Cold Stare.
I would use Bombos to start this, save a little magic.
Absolutely.
Especially when you don't have sword beams to even save more magic. Has done a good job of getting them in the corner. Did a very nice. Okay, if you can do it that well, then
fight.
If you can get it into that left corner like that and get that splash damage, then that worked just fine. But item-wise, he didn't get anything super useful. We did get a crystal. We do, and you know what? We knew this was a crystal because it was a red crystal, so there was no reason not to do it. Now let's see if he checks those other caves. Now the quickest way to do it would be to flute back to 5, honestly, rather than going back through the maze.
Which it does look like he's doing. Looks like it, but he could make a quick turn for somewhere else. But he's not.
I suspect he's gonna get the cane, and then he's gonna go get the pyramid item, and then maybe go towards catfish or something like that. See, Gamma, you could have had that. You could have had that. That always feels bad when that happens. Alright, looks like Specks is done with Pod. We'll probably go ahead and do Thieves Town now. We'll have a slightly faster Thieves Town because of the boots. Yeah, Gamma not going back to Turtle Rock right away, but I imagine a flute. It's just a flute to 5, so it wouldn't surprise me if he gets back there relatively soon.
I think he wants to, at the very least, grab whatever the pyramid has.
Nope, he's gonna do other things. That one chest in TR just not on his mind.
Oh, I see what he's after.
We have the Meyer Bicky, so yeah, this totally makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now the boots have not yet shown them. Have we seen anything required behind the boots?
None so far, no.
I was gonna say, I thought there was something. Oh, there was flippers in the library, but we don't know.
Oh, that's what it was.
We don't know if Swamp is a pendant or a crystal yet.
Oh, but the chances of it being a pendant are gradually getting bigger and bigger.
I know, they're kind of high. Has fillet? What do you mean by fillet? Flippers unknown. Okay. Okay, fillet, Lana, what do you mean by fillet?
Is that the bug net?
Bug net. Okay.
Okay.
I've never heard it called the bug net before. Oh, it's French.
Oh.
Okay. I get it now. I get it. Well, Gamma's going to want that bug net. I know it's one of his favorite items, but he's definitely not going to need it. So so the boots, again, yeah, so far have not shown anything required. I saw fillet. I said, well, fish fillet, you know. I don't speak French, so... Yeah, so we have, 4 dungeons left, 2 are pendants. So yeah, it's essentially right now 50-50 that Swamp is a crystal versus a pendant, but, you know, who knows where the flippers actually are. Of note, we do need a GT Big Key. We also need to find GT. We have not seen it yet.
And it could very well be that GT is vanilla, which would be...
Vanilla
unfortunate.
GT into Vanilla Ganon. I've never seen that. No, I've actually seen it twice. So.
Because the issue is that we have found almost all of our connectors here.
Yeah. And that. Yeah. So we did find Castle Tower. There was, I think. Maybe I'm confusing with another race because there's a lot of races going on these days. But yeah, if GT were vanilla and we don't have a connector there, then The only way
You
to
have to
get
go
there
through
is
Aga
through
Tower.
Castle Tower. You have to go through Castle Tower to get there. Yeah, I'm doing a nice job with that cape and some sword spins. Unfortunately, does not have that bow, which would be really useful right now.
This fight's gonna be just a little bit nail-biting for Gamma because Vidi hits pretty hard. 4 whole hearts if the eye bonks you. Just like that. And it can quickly eat through your entire life bar. Not a problem, though.
Yeah, he did that very well.
One small key to GT.
I mean, all 4 need to show up because we do need to climb.
But you only need 1 physically to make it to the top, because you can pull the second key off of the Helmosaur.
Yep. Actually, if all we have to do is climb, we don't need any, because we can grab the pot key.
This is true.
That said, depending on if we need to do the basement, anything in the basement, we'll need... If you do right side and steal the key, yeah, you can get away with just 2 keys to full clear. If you have to go all the way through on the right side, then that's not going to work. Oh, there's the mirror.
There it is.
That's been available.
That's been available since the
time.
back of Tavern was accessible with the pearl.
So yeah, well, that's been available since Moon Pearl. We could have sequence broken the flute, but we can't activate it. That's one of the things I think they should do in Inverted is I think the flute should immediately be active upon pickup because it does a lot of things.
It's an unfortunate design situation where you have to activate it in the light world, but it only functions in the dark. And Gamma finding a Fairy Ascent Cave, which is our last connector, to see if that's gonna most probably gonna spit out at Sky Island. No, actually, there's no need for that. So it actually could take us to Hyrule Castle. So I'd be very interested in knowing if it does.
And yeah, to answer chat, it is Octopath 2 is the MSU that Gamma is using. GT big at the dam. Okay. Gamma hasn't been back there yet, but he will when he gets to Eastern, so that's not going to be... He's not going to miss that.
And Gamma opting for a Spiral Cave at Meyer Ferry.
Apparently Swamp is a pendant. And Desert's a crystal. Okay, oh, we did see the other side of Spiral Cave, so this wasn't going to ever take us to the castle.
But this is going to put Gamma right next to Eastern Palace, which is nice, because he's going to be able to...
This is a little unfortunate, because he's not going to be able to finish it. He still doesn't have that bow.
Oh, that's right. However... Oh, no.
Nah, he's... No.
I was going to say...
That would be... Honestly, that'd be my last location. He's going back in for Big Chest in this situation.
If he mirrored, walked up the mountain to Mimic Cave, and then ended himself, his portal would be preserved, and he'd be able to get back to Eastern relatively quickly. But that's if he does it in the right order.
Yeah, and I don't imagine doing that kind of ordering when you don't know that you're getting the thing you need. That's the kind of thing you'd see in a co-op race.
In a perfect world.
Oh, thanks. Thieves Town map. We've already gotten our crystal out of there, but you know, thanks, game. And 50 rupees, yeah.
As I called it.
All right, Specks about to get his
never
mirror.
has anything.
Also of note, I'm beginning to wonder if the myths are going to show up. So, I talked about how East Death Mountain is awful and inverted. Well, part of the awfulness is that um, if you don't have connectors over there, you hard require the myths to do anything in East Light Death Mountain.
Yep.
Just to do literally anything, and
or Hera's entrance.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna never grab the mushroom. I don't think we've seen the potion shot from either runner though.
He didn't have the chance to grab the mushroom because he went out the center entrance at Desert, and it was at Bonk Rock's location next to Sank, so he didn't have a chance to go back through.
Oh, hello, Swamp. We don't have flippers. We can't do that. Yeah, I don't, chat asking if we saw the potion shot. I don't think we've seen the potion
No, we
shot.
have not yet.
So yeah, the normal inverted thing where the only thing hard behind the myths is King's Tomb. Well, that's not quite true anymore in inverted Crosskeys, so.
Gamma's heading up to the Death Mountain Pathway, the front of the Old Man Rescue location, because it is the other glove locked location, which he's had access to for a bit now.
Yeah, I think he's kind of running out of spots for checking, so that means probably the Turtle Rock play and or the Mimic Cave play are gonna come up relatively soon. I think we're gonna do a fake powder with that, and this is, I really like this. It's really hard to save the fake powder, to save the mushroom for the fake powder, but the timing for this is gonna work out really well for him to do this now.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. We need that. I mean, there's 2 others out there, but, it's nice to have one now.
And Waterfall Fairy, not very kind to Specks.
It looks like we're gonna go back to Hyrule Castle for something, because we can mirror in front of there
Oh, he's going back for the Skullwoods Big.
Didn't we do that? No,
we
didn't. Okay.
He didn't end up picking up the big chest first.
Yeah, this is a really convenient time to do this. Small key to pod. Okay, well, that's pod 5. We don't worry about pod until we get to pod 6. Not to mention need a big key. It's maybe Gamma walking to turn in the mushroom, which is pretty slow. The mushroom turn in inverted is awful.
It is.
In the meantime, oh, looks like Specks gonna do ice, I think. Yeah.
Have that glove and the hammer.
And the cane of Samaria.
Now, it's unfortunate that Gamma doesn't have the boots as he does that entrance right there, because he does not have the means to Tomb Raider clip through those stones.
Yeah, and I'm not worried. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Like, if the myths, it's an out of logic check. King's Tomb tends not to have much in these, so.
But at this point, there are 2 key, actually technically 3 key entrances that we haven't found yet. The first being GT, which is absolutely necessary.
Yep.
The second being Tower of Hera, which may be necessary.
Yep.
And then the third is Aga Tower, which may be necessary.
And also, we haven't found Turtle Rock East, which would be really good for, well, I mean, if Gamma had the big key, would be really useful for him. Without the big key, that won't help him get his boots. But I think in the more likely missed locations are going to be those East Death Mountain locations that we have no connectors to, and therefore won't be able to get to without the myths.
A bit too far over to the right.
Yeah, I think this is still not gonna. Oh, this is fine.
Oh, the Swamp Small was at Waterfall Ferry? Oh my, that's
Ew.
Equally unkind, I would say.
I mean, it only matters until we get. It doesn't matter until we get flippers. Nice blue mail.
Yeah.
A heart container that Gamma's not going to sequence break or come back for.
No real need to care.
And Specks already
bummer,
back
though,
at Cold
that Gamma doesn't have the means to splash delete to check out that Waterfall Ferry entrance. Because it is an orphaned location at this point. And there's our fourth crystal for Specks. Scamfish will scam.
I mean, you got 2,000 rupees. He'll be fine. This isn't restaurants, which we're seeing a lot of over in the league.
Yeah.
We're going to see the front of Turtle Rock from Gamma. Which I believe we've seen from Specks. Specks, meanwhile, is going to be in Misery Mire. We'll have a slightly easier second part to the video fight. He's still gonna have to do other things for the first part. Can use the bow a little bit though. 30 arrows, not enough to do completely bow strats though. Now with Turtle Rock on Gammachoo's mind, we'll see if he thinks about going to the crystal roller chest.
At the moment, he is going to start the smith chain, it looks like.
Yeah, this smith is in such a bad location.
Having to make the choice of, you're going to walk him all the way over there or just hang on to him and whatever happens,
Let's see if he remembers. Okay, so what he can do here... he's gonna get his boots first. So what he can do here is the... if he remembers, his Spectacle Rock Cave connects over to the Ice Rod Cave area. That's where the Smith House is. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to go ahead and get these boots.
Oh, Paradox.
Yeah, Paradox. Whatever cave I said, I meant Paradox.
Yeah, I was like, Spectacle Rock. Wait, do we see the top?
Yeah, we have not. Yeah, one of those caves that has 3 entrances. How about that? But yeah, that's going to connect over to the Ice Rod Cave area, so he's going to be able to go there to turn the smith in pretty easily. And I'm not sure how you feel about getting boots there, because I would not be feeling like those boots have been available for a while.
Yeah.
In terms of what he's has not done, that Specks has done, the bigger deal is actually that bow sitting in Mimic Cave, though. All right. Specks starts off the fight by he's gonna use his green potion to go back to the cape and do some more sword spins. Should be able to finish the small eyeballs off with that, and then just use arrows for the second phase.
Oh,
Okay,
my
yeah,
Lord.
those mitts, those mitts that we've been talking about. There's a really good chance that they're hard required.
Oh, well, that gives King's Tomb and all of Death Mountain to Gamma.
Yep. Oh, there's that Swamp Palace Walkie you were talking about.
Yeah.
It also gives a bunch of the mountain, which might get him up there to Mimic Cave. But I think he's gonna grab that orphaned waterfall fairy entrance here with some fake flippering.
No.
Maybe not.
Looks like he's heading back to... What is he going back for? What are you doing, Gamma?
I don't know. The moment there, I thought he was going into Eastern for that big chest, but there's better places to go. Oh, he's gonna do the bonk checks.
Ah, okay.
Because he knows he's missing some entrances. Man, we know there's nothing in these locations. Unfortunately, he's really way too far. You know, the access to King's Tomb is pretty bad right now.
Yeah. The fastest he would have is to run down Bonk and Fake Flipper, which I think he might just about do. Perhaps not.
Mirror.
Oh, he's going back for Pyramid Fairy.
Okay. You've got the means to do it.
Oh, they also have Spike Cave available to them. That's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, Spike Cave. I forget where that was.
That's Dark Hero Fortune Teller.
Mm.
This is the caveat misfortune that is inverted. There are a lot of one-off checks, and Pyramid Fairy just ends up being Kakariko Shed. No love.
Yeah, that's one of the best places to find really early, and one of the worst places to find late.
Yeah.
You love
but
to
all
see
these
that
little
early.
one-off checks that...
I mean, that's just a Crosskeys. That's not unique to inverted.
Well, I meant things like this check that Gamma's about to do right now. I think Specks is looping it in too. Is as soon as you get the hammer and the mirror, this becomes a thing.
Yep, and Specks is
there's
grabbing
the
the
other
smith. We saw this from the other side. Neither runner took it. And
That's bad. That means there's no way on top of Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, that's why I said in inverted, you don't really want the vanilla Ganon. Like, I'm a big fan of vanilla Ganon and regular Crosskeys. Just, like you say, climb GT when you can. In inverted, you don't want to climb GT until you're killing Ganon. Unless you have other access to the to get there. And Spec's also going to remember that this Paradox Cave, not Paradox. Yeah, Paradox Cave. The Paradox Cave will get him over to turning the smith a lot faster than anything else. Okay,
Actually,
Gamma
you
now
know
up in the
what?
mountain. Let's see if he goes and gets his... Is he going to get his... Are we getting our Mimic? Yeah, he's
We
forgetting
do
Mimic Cave again.
have one more chance that you can skip Aga Tower, and that is if Speck Rock Upper is at Hyrule Castle. That can happen. There are 2 entrances up there.
Well, it can, but I think it's more likely you skip it by just not climbing GT until the end. You have to not have progression in the top of GT. Just hold off and don't do it. Now, we haven't even found GT, so...
This is true. But Gamma
Speaking
did
of things we haven't found.
Hera.
Yeah, we got Hera now.
Which could be our last pendant or crystal. We don't know.
This will give us the rest of the information we need.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's
hot
the
on his
crystal.
trail.
I hope it's the crystal, because I really don't want to go on an ice rod hunt. But this bow is starting to become worrying for Gammachuu, because he was in the area of Mimic Cave just now and did not go check it, and that's where he needs to go to get one of the bows. Now, there's another bow out there that he might find. But as of right now, Specks definitely has the advantage. Not in go mode yet. We're still missing a lot of things. So I don't like to say lead in this until somebody hits go mode. Mm-hmm. And then it's usually pretty obvious.
Or if it's a situation where they are entering into their last crystal and they're like 3 dungeons ahead of their opponent.
Okay, so yeah, Specks is not going to do the basement check initially. We'll see if he goes back in afterwards. Because there's the thing we wanted.
It's an example. Like, I didn't want to see that. I would have wanted to find the desert pig.
Well, I don't ever want to find the key to a pendant dungeon.
Yeah. Even if Swamp was a crystal, I still wouldn't want to find the big key because it doesn't do anything other than a single check.
Well, I'd be happy to find it before I do. I always say this: if I find it before I do the dungeon, fine. If I find it after, then bad. All right, very nice, quick Moldorm kill for Gammachuu. And we got nothing useful out of this dungeon, and it's a pendant, so we do need the ice rod. And we do need the Turtle Rock Big Key. So now, but now we know everything we need. We need entrance to GT. We need a Turtle Rock Big Key, a Desert Big Key, and the ice rod. Let's not wish ped on these runners, please.
Picturing that meme from Talladega Nights. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
So here's one of the gotchas of Crosskeys. It's the only way to get into this entrance is to mirror. Normally this is a force connector cave. Ooh, our last Skullwood small key. Not useful.
This is one of those unfortunate situations about inverted is if you drop down the wrong spot. We did find Aga Tower, which is sort of vanilla.
Yeah. We do need to do... Well, I mean, in inverted, the Dark World location here, what would normally be GT.
That's why I said sorta.
There's our Desert Big Key. Now, we can get both items here, but we can't take this to check the entrances near Hyrule Castle. So.
Mm-hmm.
But the real problem is once you go back, is it takes 3 loops to get to all the entrances.
Yeah.
With all the drop downs, when you don't have connectors that'll help you out. In the meantime, Specks does need to find a sword, so we don't know where our 3rd and 4th swords are. So interestingly enough, in both cases, the item that one runner has that the other one has. Oh, there's TR. There's TR East. Gamma's not gonna find it because he's chosen to go into what would normally be Mimic Cave. But he's got his boots, so it doesn't matter. And there's GT. And Gamma's gonna find that in a second, and Specks is already on his way to doing stuff here. He's got all 4 keys. Gamma's got 3 keys, so we're gonna full clear the basement. And then they'll have to decide whether to climb or not, which is not, like I said, not an easy decision. Oh, there's the ice rod, so no more ice rod hunt. We are now a Turtle Rock big key away. Gamma also needs to get a bow. Specks needs a sword. And it's entirely possible that both these things are going to be somewhere in GT basement.
There are plenty of options. There are 23 things that you can do in the basement, 4 things on the climb.
And Gamma, realizing that he came in with 3 keys, doesn't need to grab the extra key. It's going to just mirror out. And I believe Specks... see, judging by his number of keys, I'm not sure if he mirrored out or not. Just a piece
he did.
of heart. He did. No, I mean, if he grabbed the small key first. Did he grab the small key first?
He did not.
Okay. Again, with 4 keys. With 3 keys, you don't need to. There's another Meyer small key. And an Ice Palace small key.
No help there.
Nope, we already know Pod's a pendant, so that map doesn't help us. And a bunch of small keys that we don't really need.
The only small key that would actually be of any real interest to us is the Thieves Town small, because there is one big key that we're still missing.
Well, we don't want the Thieves Town small.
Yeah.
We don't want to have to ever go back there.
Absolutely.
If Pod 6 showed up, along with the Pod Big Key, I would be very suspicious of those last 2 pod checks. Oh, book and flippers.
Oh, there it is.
There's Turtle Rock Big Key. Okay, so you leave. You don't climb now. Well, Specks is in go mode. Specks should leave. Specks, leave. Okay, don't leave. You don't... Yeah, because he's going to climb, and then he's going to have to get back here. He's going to have to climb twice. He's going to have to do 2 climbs or get the castle tower, the second castle tower key. And yes, Specks also needs a sword. So yeah, I really dislike this decision to climb.
Meanwhile, Gamma is gonna keep pushing through because he is still missing a bow.
So I guess we're in no mode. Don't fall down before opening that chest, Gamma. We're going to see Cana Samarius, or Cana Berta strats on the Armos Knights, which is always fun. If you do this right, he should have enough magic to do this. Because he had about half a bar, and you can, if you have a full magic bar, you can get them all. Not quite enough. If you, but yeah, if you group them up right with one bar of magic, you can do it. Now, Gamma can't climb. Unless he wants to mimic clip, which he probably doesn't.
Well, there's the second castle tower small.
Castle tower small is really interesting because it allows Gamma, if he were to climb, he could, yeah, he could climb and do it that way. Okay, he's gonna do Trinex here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that gives Gamma the choice of climbing early if he wants to do all of Castle Tower to get back there. But I don't think... I mean, Gamma's go mode is going to be bow, so he's not climbing until he has the... until he's got 7 crystals. And Specks is either going to have to climb a second time or is going to have to
Where was the
Castle
bow?
Tower.
The bow was in Mimic Cave, which is right side drop down of West Death Mountain.
Yeah, Gamma's seen Mimic Cave, but he didn't have the hammer when he got there and never went back.
It's not the hardest in the world to get to, considering they have the flute, and
yeah, it's actually pretty easy to get to.
Yeah. It is just, you know, a 15-second run up the mountain for one thing.
It's just, you know, it's just one of those locations that easy to forget about. It's one item. It's kind of funny because when Gamma got the hammer, he was kind of prioritizing hammer checks in general. So I am a little concerned that he's forgotten about that location. You could still get bailed out by another bow, but we're kind of running out of locations for where that would be. Like, it might just be on the climb here. And we're gonna, you know, and Specks is gonna be opening these chests because he needs a sword. And, oh gosh, Gamma's got Swamp available now. It's got Pod 6. No, he can't do Pod without the big key, so that's fine. That's not an issue. He's probably gonna do Desert next. Has one more free location. Yeah, wall kicks. Yeah, that's right. Specs just needs a sword, but he's but we have a vanilla Ganon, and no access to the top of the castle. And since he hasn't got 7 crystals, he's gonna have to do another climb.
Now,
whether it be GT or Castle Tower,
the opportunity for Gamma to pick up on the bow because the Mimic Cave is right next to Desert Upper.
Well, let's see if he does it. Yeah, here we go. Gamma's about to be in go mode.
Maybe.
Oh, he's gonna do Desert first. Okay. Yeah, so they're right next to each other, but not. They're kind of not next to each other. Oh, that powder is... Okay, well, if Specks follows the powder, he's gonna get his sword. Because that's where the other sword is on the magic bat.
Yeah. Which was in Lost Woods.
Yep. But he is still gonna have to climb an extra time. Just do you reclimb GT, or and does he know that you can reclimb GT, or is he gonna have to search out that Castle Tower Small, which we now know is in the back of GT? Yeah, in the basement.
So he'd have to come back here anyway.
Small key to Turtle Rock for Gammachuu. It just does Gamma think to check Mimic Cave here?
Now there is one saving grace if Specks can realize it. Do you have to kill Gammachuu again? No.
No. Assuming it wasn't patched out like it was for doors, if you climb GT the second time, the duck will grab you immediately upon walking in.
Remember.
And there it is. Gammachuu is about to be in go mode. Beck still has to do Turtle Rock, has to do Desert, and has to do a second climb of some sort. And there's Bow for Gamma. He just needs to go do Eastern, which will be very quick. I just heard
Gamma curse as soon as he saw that.
Yeah, but I think, God, strangely enough, like this was advantage Specks. This was absolutely advantage Specks because, the decision to make the climb really hurts him, and he still needs a sword, so he needs to follow that powder. Yeah, here at Ladder, we bring you all the audio.
Can he save his portal up here?
Can he save the portal?
Yes, he can.
Maybe?
If he does not use the mirror again when going to the light world and takes a death, he will preserve his portal.
And that maybe that was his plan all along?
That's going to be a hard sell because now he has to
Still needs a
die
sword.
with 15 hearts
Ugh.
as he comes out here so
Well,
he
he's
can
on
get
green
to
now.
Turtle Rock lower.
So yeah, he's gonna have to save that portal for a while. So yeah, that's gonna be tricky. So now, and Gamma still has to climb. So now I don't know who's in the lead.
It's kind of anyone's guess.
Yeah, and
Because-
again, still need a sword.
Yep.
Where is he getting a sword?
He's got a lot to choose from at this point.
I mean,
And
do you
they're
go to
all like-
Swamp and go for the meme?
Yeah.
You know? Like, at this point, that's kind of, what else is left? You know, it's 10 items, plus, like, Swamp likes to have swords. Like, it's a meme for a reason. I don't even remember where Swamp was and whether you can get there without a portal.
It
losing the
is
portal.
at the checkerboard entrance.
Nope. Well, maybe? No.
Yeah, you can get there without wasting the portal. You just need to... Well, there it goes.
And now Gamma just needs to climb. Yeah, and the second castle tower key is in the basement of GT, which is Specks' logical way back up. But yeah, if Specks just doesn't climb GT, oh, of course, I keep forgetting the sword issue, which is still an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's a very important issue. I think, yeah, Gamma may have been hoping for
Another sword.
for a sword there, but nope, the game says no.
That's your sword, Silverless Ganon.
Yeah,
So
so our sword, I mean, we've cleared most of this game. We have one item left in Thieves Town. We have all 10 items left in Swamp Palace. We have 2 items left in Pod. Now, granted, we can't even do Pod because we don't have the big key for those 2 items. And we don't have the small key for Thieves Town, so... Swamp is the place to go, I think, if you're Specks looking for a sword, unless, you know, I mean, Magic Bat is a fine location to check because you have that powder. It's not that far out of the way, but and yeah, I think we're going to Swamp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's
honestly,
the best bet in Specks' position.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I'd go to. Honestly, I wouldn't have climbed, so I would also be looking for a sword. Because I wouldn't, you know, unless I'd done like Gammachuu did and did the fake powder for the Magic Bat.
If Magic Bat is not locked behind Aga 1 or 2, I fake powder kind of as soon as I have the ability.
Yeah, well, the problem is I like to turn in the mushroom as soon as I don't like to save the mushroom for the possibility of the fake powder. If the opportunity presents itself, which it did for Gamma.
Right.
Gamma had the perfect opportunity to do that. I don't know if Specks had, you know, what his situation. I mean, like I said, it's a meme for a reason.
Yeah.
Now he's got to figure out how to get back to the castle. And the faster, you see, the problem is the faster way to go is Castle Tower. He doesn't have the second small key.
In this instance, he had one possible solution, only one, and that is if Spec Rock Upper spat out of the GT entrance on top of the castle. That would be the only way he catches up at this point, but them's long odds to gamble on.
No, he checked the entrances. We didn't see the front.
No, the GT entrance that requires 7 crystals.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think it'd be reasonable to try it. And we're gonna be on Master Sword for the Ganon fight. Gamma has that blue mail he picked up at Catfish that Specks never got. And there we go. We have to clear that climb again. Yes, wall kicks. That is exactly the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do not want to fall on Ganon in this scenario. It's so bad. How is that allowed? The
welcome
logical
to inverted.
Yeah, the logical way to get... Yeah, welcome to Vanilla Ganon in inverted. It's fine when it's not Vanilla Ganon. The logical way is to go up Castle Tower.
Actually, now I have a question. What happens if you die in the Ganon drop, having dropped into Ganon?
I think you just spawn at the top. I think that's fine.
So, the trick would be try to get yourself, if you're gonna fall, make sure you're almost dead, then use bombs to kill yourself.
Oh, I don't know what happens if you die after you've dropped.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what happens in vanilla if you do that after you drop. Like, I've literally never tried. I don't know that anyone's ever tried that. But yeah, like this is a particular issue, for Vanilla Ganon. Vanilla Ganon in inverted is awful.
Would not have saved him. Darn.
Yeah, he's gonna check these locations for swords, and I don't blame him.
The time you spend going into these looking for a sword is definitely worth.
Oh, for sure. Or silver.
The possibility of actually getting it.
We never found silvers. I don't know. I might have. I think he's got a B and a green potion. I might have bought a red potion. But yeah, this is like I personally like playing inverted Crosskeys, but this particular situation is just awful.
Yeah.
I always say in regular Crosskeys, I love having Vanilla Ganon because I just know I have to climb and I just do it whenever I can. In inverted, no.
This situation, like, on its own is such a bad thing. It was just the fact that there were no connectors that led up here that ruined it.
My experience is there's I'd say about half the times I've had Vanilla Ganon, there's been no connectors. It is not, unfortunately it's just not an unusual thing.
Gamma is not opting for Samaria strats, which is going to cost him a significant chunk of magic. I believe he still has that green potion.
He's got the green. He's got a green and a B, which is why I would have gone ahead and bought a red potion in that shop that we had. He's gonna be very careful, and Specks is gonna be pretty close. So like any kind of death, well, I mean, unless they both fall and or die, any kind of fall or mistake here from Gamma is gonna be
disaster.
Yeah, it can be absolutely disaster. It will change the lead. God, stop warping, Ganon.
Take your medicine. It's my Lanta.
Yeah, and you have to get the torch glitch here. In a basement? All I saw was the word basement. What basement? Oh, they did patch it out.
Oh
Oh no!
no!
Like why? Okay, well,
Oh,
he needs.
that's so.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that is a change, and Telethar was talking about it before. The indoors they had patched out the automatic grab there. Um, but yeah, I don't know if to be honest, I don't know if Specks knew in the first place.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing that you kind of should be letting people know that was changed.
So now
And
I'm
unfortunately, yeah,
very
Specks is going
interested
the
in
wrong place.
knowing when that was patched out.
Yeah, GT Basement has the other Castle Tower small key. But I say it again, you don't climb. You're in go mode. There's no reason to climb there. You save it for the last thing you do in this situation. And Gamma's about to finish this off.
Get your GGs in chat for our winner here tonight, unless some horrible incident should occur.
No, we're not falling off any bridges today.
No, we are
Finishing
not.
with an official race time of 2:05:53. GG's to Gammachuu.
Well done. A fine time for what is logically a very wild seed.
Yeah, I do wonder how much Specks has played inverted crosskeys to. I mean, like I said, I don't know if he thought that. I don't know if he knew that an old version allowed you to reclimb GT. And he's gonna see small keys and be trolled by them. Logically required swap for that small key. Like I could see it was just weird. Like you're in go mode other than a sword. So I don't know why you don't clear, do your go mode locations if in that situation. Just it was such a perfect storm of everything. And I think we do have Gammachuu joining us. GG's. Oh, we had him for a second.
We did.
He was muted. Hopefully he comes back.
I'm not seeing.
Oh, okay. He's saying in the Discord. Give him a minute. So.
I'm not seeing on the list of updates here any indication of when that bird grab was patched out.
Yeah, I don't know if Telethar, if you're still here, because I imagine it was done the same time it was done indoors. Nobody did GT Tower Room. Maybe that was where the silvers were. Yeah, that's a good call, more guy. And I do believe that time still matters for tiebreakers, so Specks has reason to keep going. All right. We got you now, Gamma?
All right, there you go. Hey, yeah.
So welcome to Inverted Crosskeys, where having a vanilla Ganon is like the worst thing.
Very well done.
Yeah, I just gotta say, I felt like utter garbage after I full cleared ice. I found Kano Samara immediately afterwards.
Yeah, we
And
knew that was coming.
yeah, I'm like, oh, that feels like so garbage, and the boots did not feel good at all.
How about that bow? How'd that feel?
That was wonderful. I knew it was gonna be either between that Spike Cave or Eastern Big Chest because the mitts were still bow locked.
Yeah.
So I was still like, that's all I got left. I'm not gonna, do Tile Room GT because at that point it would just be silvers I'm looking for.
It sounds like they were there. But Yeah, and we do have Specks joining us. GG's. That was a rough finish for you.
Yeah,
GG's, good sir.
Yo,
yeah,
yo, GG's,
GG's.
Specs.
How
So
would
Oh
the
my gosh, there's a sword on pedestal too. Oh, so
uh,
bad. Oh my gosh.
um, so y- the big issue for you had two issues. Specs. One was you needed that last sword, which
yeah.
got it right away in Swamp. But the other was doing the GT climb before you were in go mode without a way to get back to the castle.
Oh.
Yeah, I realized that afterwards. So I did the so after I was in go mode minus the sword going up GT climb, but I
Yep.
hadn't beaten TR or desert yet. So I had
Mhm.
to, if I forgot about the fact that if Gan's at the pyramid drop down, my only way up there was to be Aga 1 or Aga 2. There's no way to
Yep.
get up there because there was no connector. I completely forgot. And then afterwards I'm like, oh, I have to hope Gamba did the same mistake. Otherwise, this is over.
Mhm.
But
Nope.
Yeah,
um,
and I don't know if if you had knew this, but it used to be that when you climb GT the second time that the duck would just pick you up and still drop you off. Apparently they patched that out recently.
that
wait,
explains it because
did they actually?
I thought that would
Yeah.
work because I got some advice recently from Mr. Ed about inverted Crosskeys, and he said if Aga 1 or Aga 2 will both put you back up. I thought if
Mhm.
I did the climb again,
Yeah. Well, I
I could
mean,
get
he
back
had
up.
yeah, like I test when the ladder had the season. I think it was either the season where we had the inverted cross keys, or it may have been the when the invitational with the entrance modes was.
Entrance
Yeah, yeah, the
extravaganza.
entrance extravaganza. I tested it once. I had to do the GT climb early for progression, or just did it. I don't remember. And after I finished the game, I finished it by climbing Castle Tower. And then afterwards, I tested it. I went and climbed GT, and that picked me up, dropped me off, and I was like, "Oh, hey, look, everyone!" But apparently, that was a year and a half ago, so apparently that's
Mm,
changed.
Yeah, that's actually how I ended up losing a race to somebody, Relkin or Humbug, because I climbed it. I didn't realize, wait, how do I get back up here? And I
Yeah,
was looking for an Agatar small key because I didn't realize you could also,
that's
reclimb and you get caught by
yeah.
the bird. But I didn't know they fixed it. I thought it was just gonna be, a
yeah.
thing.
I don't know why you would. I don't know why you would change that. I mean, I knew it wasn't supposed to be in logic to do it that way, but it felt like a low priority change, right? Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, that feels too bad because when I went, 'cause I went to GT. At that point I got the ice rod, I got the TR big, I had
yep,
everything else but a sword. So if I had just left GT, beat TR desert, then did the
yep,
climb,
yeah.
I would have had this one. That hurts.
If
That
you
stings
watch,
admittedly.
yeah, if you watch
uh,
this back, you'll hear me saying, "Don't climb, don't climb, leave, leave."
I completely forgot. I knew that was a thing. I just I didn't put two and two together in this race. This is my first time racing this mode.
Hmm.
I'm not used to it, so I
Yeah,
try to learn all the gotchas. But
yeah,
the best
yeah.
way to
That's
learn is to mess it
it.
up in an actual race.
Yep,
So
that's very very true.
yeah.
Like there's a lot of gotchas in inverted. They're different gotchas than in regular cross keys. I don't
Yeah,
know if
one
they're any better or worse, but they're just different.
I totally forgot about Graveyard Ledge when I passed by Sanctuary and did a drop down of Useless Fairy. I just completely blanked out until I'm going South Shore. I'm like, wait, oh my gosh, I could have done Graveyard Ledge when I'm doing K45.
Hmm.
Oh well, I'll come
so
back to that later.
okay. So then I have some questions then. Okay, who got Moon Pearl first? Who got Boots first?
Okay, so Gammachuu got Moon Pearl way first.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You got Boots
Wait,
before Gamma did by a lot. By like in what, an hour?
Yes, the
oh
boots
my
were
gosh.
ahead by an hour.
Oh,
So
that.
here's the difference. So Gamma, you mostly followed the logic except skipping Lamp, because you did Meyer before you got to Hyrule Castle.
Yeah.
And so you just, you had that small key to go to the back and get the Moon Pearl, which gave you a whole lot of things to do. So when you got over to the area where Boots were, where Ice Palace was, where Canis Maria was, you had a ton of things to do. So it wasn't necessarily a high priority for you to do all those things. Now, when Specks got over there, he was still looking for the Moon Pearl. So it was dive, hammerless, gloveless, ice.
Ice. Oh my
It
gosh.
was
Yeah, I did
get your
that.
cane of
Yeah.
Samaria. It was um
Boots.
do the extra check in TR after you get your Canis Amari. The one thing you didn't do is you didn't do Paradox Cave, which you had available to you because you went through the connector, but when you came out the Dark World, you could have gone back in. As it turned out, I don't think there was anything in there.
There wasn't.
No.
I didn't think about that, but you're right. I could have totally done it. I didn't think about that. You're right. Should have done that.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I
Um,
mean that's just a Crosskeys thing, that comes up in regular Crosskeys all the time.
Yeah, it's more the inverted. I'm not comfortable in inverted. Overall, I mean, it sounds like at the end of the day, I would have actually gotten this one if I had messed up the GT climb. But that's gonna haunt me for a few days.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry.
if it makes you feel any better, the choice to try and climb it the second time, you were behind at that point. So even had that
yeah.
worked, you still would have lost. It was climbing the first time that got you, and only thing that got you.
Yeah, no, that
So
makes sense.
when
Yep.
you got up there and I go 2 again, it just nothing happens. No
Nothing
bird passes
happened.
by.
Yeah, I
Oh,
just walked around hoping something would happen, and it didn't. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
well,
would
I
have
that's
really lost.
it would
yeah.
have been immediate. Like it would when it the way it was before, it was immediate. So
Yeah.
yeah, you would
You know,
you would have seen it.
I was trying to figure out the logic because I know I got Boon Pearl on logic. I'm like, okay, and then I got Lamp over there in Paradox. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I think you have to bunny walk to Ice Rock Cave, go through that Paradox connector
Yep.
to go to Dark,
Yep.
yeah, that
That's
was
right.
awful. That's so
That's what
That's
I
what
did.
you
terrible.
had to do.
That's what
You
I
did
did.
that? Oh
I
my
did it.
gosh. You
I
didn't have the
followed the
small key?
logic, Gamma. I followed the
Okay.
logic.
All right. All
No,
right.
well, I would disagree because you went to Zelda Cell in the castle
Oh, there you go. You
I
without the
did do
small
that.
key.
I
So
did
that's
okay.
do
not
Yeah.
that.
logic.
But I
If you
didn't
had
get any
stolen the key, which
progression.
is not, yeah, which if you had stolen the key, which, I'm actually generally not a big fan of, if you'd done that, you would have gotten the Moon Pearl earlier. So,
But I wouldn't have gotten my boots, which sounds like that's what
yeah.
kept me in this race. Which is what I was hoping. When I got that, when I realized I needed to go back to Meyer, which I knew was when I was bunny walking, I knew I should have gone to Meyer the whole time. So I'm just like,
Mhm.
it's been too long. I can't go back to Meyer for progression. I'm gonna keep bunny walking. I got the Moon Pearl like 41, 42 minutes in.
Oh my gosh. I
It
think I
was
got it like
rough.
Yeah.
20, I don't
But
know, 20 something,
there
but yeah.
there were two things that kept you in contention though. It was that, but also you got the bow a lot earlier.
That makes sense.
The,
So, and that's what had you in the lead because you were both in GT basement at the same time,
oh wow,
pretty much
interesting.
within a few rooms of each other.
But
But
he had the bow
but
and
Specks had the bow and had already done Eastern, and so was one
oh,
dungeon
okay.
up. So
Yeah.
that was where the lead came from.
Oh
Ah,
But yeah.
boy.
So one other thing I'll mention, 'cause since neither of you did it, if just in case you run into this mode again, when you end up in Kakariko and you do the bottle vendor, you get a temporary Super Bunny state that you can do one thing with. I personally like to do
Oh,
back a tavern with it, but you can also drop down in the Lost Woods if you can not get hit all the way there. So,
oh right.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
That
a
you know,
useful
oh
thing to do.
gosh. I
One
It's
I
thing
told
not in
is as
myself,
logic, of
well,
course.
if you find a tree pull in the Super Bunny state, the tumble will re-put you into Link state so you can get your full form back.
Oh, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
which you can do in
Sweet.
Lost Woods. Yeah, Miss Ed was telling me about doing those options, and I'm not a very. I don't do a lot of out of logic stuff, especially in inverted, so it's not my style. But I
Hmm.
was told about it, but I wanted to. For the
there's
Moon Pro, at least, I wanted to like
Yeah,
follow
and
the
that's why I
logic
usually do.
mostly.
That's why I usually do the back of tavern because it's like it's one check. You just don't have to worry
yeah.
about coming back for. But yeah, there are other options. It's not the only option.
There was no way I was gonna but like that's last location. I'm like, I'm doing everything I can before bunny walking's an option. I just
Hmm.
it's terrible. I don't like it. So
I did
I
Yeah,
felt
no,
that.
okay.
you had other
Yeah.
things like I
Yeah.
mean, Meyer with 4 items is not terrible.
Yeah. Specs, how many times did you die to the bird falling down from bumper ledge?
None.
Really?
Because
Uh
I told you I practiced I practiced a few seeds like at the beginning of
Yeah, we need
the
to practice that a
like the
little
first
bit.
half hour, and I had practiced that. All you do is you just hold left when you fall down, and you never get hit.
I got
Yep.
very tilted after 2 deaths. Like I'm just not thinking. I fall down again and I just die. I'm like,
Yeah, well, it's easy to forget. Yeah, I mean, when
Yeah.
I die, it's because I forgot it, because it's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
That is a start point to start spot that the game likes for some reason.
Oh boy.
The other thing that felt really bad was when I was, I had followed that chain in Paradox Cave over the east
Mhm.
area before the Moon Pearl, and I got boots in Samaria, and I only had like 78 rupees, and I wanted to open the pot
Oh,
area, and I had to
yeah.
farm the Motordactyls for like 3 or 4
Yeah, I
minutes,
forgot about
and
that.
then that
Oh
opened up
gosh.
Hammerless Ice Palace. So I'm like, I spent 3 minutes
Yeah,
farming
no wonder you did
rupees.
it.
So I'm
No,
like, I have to do it.
I mean, honestly, I was the right decision to go in and do it for your situation because, like, at that point, that could have been the Moon Pearl. Like, that was
Yeah,
completely in logic for you.
I knew I had to go back to Maya, but I'm just like, I don't want to, because Gamma, I know, already did it. It's probably the answer, but I'm gonna locate it, and I did, and it seemed like that worked out well enough. So, I had a lot of smaller round issues and execution stuff on my end that I've been happy with, but I blame a lot of that on I'm just not used to inverted, and when you're not
Yep.
used to a mode and the way you're
Yeah.
routing, like it's just
Well,
hard to keep the things that you're normally good at
inverted.
together.
I mean, I play. First of all, I think it's a terrible race mode. I enjoy casually playing inverted cross keys. And let me tell you, I've played a lot of them with a lot of weird things. But inverted cross keys is different than in regular inverted. It's got different gotchas and different, just like inverted cross keys is different gotchas in regular cross keys. It has different gotchas in regular inverted. So, it is kind of its own thing.
Yeah,
Spec
go ahead,
Specs.
Gamma.
I gotta ask, we've only raced 2 times 1v1, one time in the ladder, and
In
I only
February,
won because that glitch. You remember that glitch you got? You weren't
I
able
cape.
to correct? Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I've been
K glitch.
playing for 2 months, and I cape glitch against you. Lost like 3 minutes in TR, and then
Oh,
lost by a little over a minute to Gamma
oh
on
Yeah,
wow.
and
casual climb.
now
That was like 2 months into me playing, and yeah.
2 months.
And then
That's
this race,
okay. That's an impressive result. 2 months into playing,
yeah, and
to
then
lose
you
to someone that's been playing as long as Gamma has and has done as much.
and now I only won because of this you climbing a
no,
GT and
Gamma, you luck sack. Just to be clear, you did luck sack on this one. I had you. I had you.
You're so close, so close. My lucky charm just bailing me out. I
Yeah,
fake powdered that
apparently.
sword, by the way. I felt good because I even opened the entrance to the top of Agaton or after
Wait, you
Aga
did?
2.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
got
was
my
because
a
sword out of swamp.
yeah, it was
yeah.
first chest swamp. Well, and
Oh
even when it was
gosh.
like, where do you look for a sword? I'm like, well, we know we can get one at the magic bat with the powder that's the top of GT, but
Yeah.
there's also like first chest. I mean, where do you go looking for a sword? You had 10 items in swamp, so of course you're gonna go there.
Yeah, I
Right?
felt good going into the gun. If I'm like, these swords just suck. I laughed at that powder location and like, you lose your portal. You have to
Yep.
reclimb. I would have
Yep.
climbed Aga 2 again if I didn't, I didn't know that. I didn't know they fixed it.
I think well, you guys had Castle Tower. I feel like that would have been faster, even if it still worked to get you back to the drop
Yeah.
down.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we actually do have a source now. According to Codeman, that's not a logical path. It's actually a bug that'll be patched in future versions of June from 22.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Hmm.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. Thanks, PH, with the information.
Yeah, thank you.
I did not know that that got patched out because that timeline fits when I tested it.
We are informed by Dunka that there are 4 matches left for this week. One's going on as we speak, and then the next Gamma is going to be playing against Tam a little bit later tonight. So if he's luck
Oh
sacked
boy.
this match, let's see what happens next time.
Well, sad that's
Uh,
not
Low
getting a
leg
restream.
stacking. We already
Please
know it.
do give our
Oh,
racers
dang.
Gammachuu and Specks 93 a big ol' hearty follow, and look forward to their next matches coming up very,
Right.
very
That's right.
soon.
Zelga versus Telethar was going on um, right now as well.
They
They're
are a
they're
little over an hour into their own cross keys.
nice. Yep. Yep. That's a good cross keys matchup. All right.
Uh,
Well, I mean, I have no idea who's got what wins, but good luck to both of you moving forward in this crazy tournament.
yeah. Thanks again to both of you for doing commentary and yeah, Specs, GG's again. Good luck in your last match versus Tam.
Great fight,
Thanks.
Uh,
gentlemen.
Same to you, Gamma. Thanks you guys for the comms and tracking. It's always appreciated.
Yeah, Lana stepping up and making it so I don't have to track. I would have done it to get this race on the air, just to be clear. But I'm glad I didn't have
Thank
to.
you, Lana. Yeah, thank you, Lana,
Lana,
for
the
tracking.
MVP today. But yeah, it looks like that's gonna do it for us. And also thank you to Dunka for even putting this on in the first place. Huge shout outs for everything that you do on the ladder, not just these invitationals, but just the fact the ladder even exists. Huge shout outs to Dunka. And Roz, it was a pleasure to do some commentary together.
Absolutely. Pleasure entirely on this side of the computer.
All right. Well, I think we both had fun, and I know I had fun, so I hope you did too. But yeah, so I guess are we gonna be showing? Are you just gonna? Are you hosting one of the runners, or are we actually gonna bring them on here? Because
it's not restreamed.
You're gonna raid.
So
Okay.
we're gonna
Yeah.
send it on over there.
Okay, we're gonna raid over to one of their streams. Stay tuned and watch one of Zelga or Telethar as they race some regular Crosskeys. And we'll see y'all later.
Have a good rest of your night, everyone.